Hello, everyone, and welcome to FluentFlow. I'm Alex, and I'm really glad you're listening today.
Hi, I'm Emma. If this is your first time here, Fluent Flow is a podcast designed especially for people who want to improve their English through listening.
This podcast is for students, beginners, and intermediate learners who feel that they understand English, but still struggle when it comes to speaking.
Our goal here is very simple. We want you to hear natural English, spoken slowly and clearly, so that your listening skills improve without stress.
You don't need to repeat anything right now. You don't need to analyze grammar. Just listen and stay relaxed.
Think of this episode as a calm English environment where you can slowly get comfortable with the language.
Emma, I think many students feel frustrated because they study English for years, yet speaking still feels difficult.
Yes, and that frustration usually comes from the way English is taught. Students often learn English as a subject, not as a language.
Exactly. They focus on exams, marks, and correct answers, but they don't get enough exposure to real English.
And because of that, listening becomes weak, which later affects speaking.
That's why an English listening podcast is so helpful. It allows learners to hear how English is actually used in real conversations.
Over time, the brain starts recognizing sentence patterns, common expressions, and natural pronunciation.
Many students say something very interesting. They say, I understand English, but I can't speak it.
That sentence tells us a lot. It usually means their reading is fine, but their listening practice is limited.
Yes, because speaking confidence comes mainly from listening.
When you listen regularly, English starts to feel familiar instead of foreign.
And once English feels familiar, fear slowly disappears.
Fear is actually one of the biggest barriers for students.
They worry about pronunciation, grammar mistakes, or being judged by others.
But language learning was never meant to be perfect from the beginning.
I'd like to share a simple story that many students will relate to.
Go ahead.
There was a college student who was excellent academically. He understood English lectures, scored well in written exams, and completed assignments easily.
But when it was time to speak, he avoided it.
Yes. Whenever the teacher asked a question in English, he stayed quiet even though he knew the answer.
That silence often comes from fear, not from lack of knowledge.
Exactly. Later, when someone asked him why he never spoke, his answer was very honest.
What did he say?
He said he was afraid of making mistakes and sounding foolish in front of others.
That mindset is extremely common among students, and unfortunately, it slows down progress.
When children learn a language, they make mistakes every day, yet they keep speaking.
The truth is, mistakes are not a sign of failure. They are a sign that learning is happening.
When children learn a language, they make mistakes every day, yet they keep speaking.
But as adults or students, we become too self conscious.
That's why listening practice is so important. It allows learning to happen quietly, without pressure.
The more you listen, the more natural English starts to sound.
And when something sounds natural, speaking it becomes easier.
So, for students listening today, the most important habit is simple. Listen to English every day, even if it's only for 10 or 15 minutes. That could be podcasts, videos, interviews, or simple conversations.
The goal is not to understand every word. The goal is to stay connected to the language. Over time, you will notice that sentences come to your mind more easily. And slowly, confidence builds without effort. Emma, another thing many students struggle with is thinking in English.
and then I speak. That translation process slows everything down.
Exactly. When you translate from your native language to English, your brain needs extra time. And that delay creates nervousness. Students then feel that they are slow or not fluent. But the real issue is not fluency, it's habit.
Thinking in English is a habit that develops through listening. When you listen regularly, your brain starts forming ideas directly in English.
At first, these ideas are very simple, like short thoughts. I'm tired. I need a break. I'll study later. Those small thoughts matter a lot.
Because once thinking becomes natural, speaking follows more easily. Many learners also believe that good English means fast English. But speed is not the goal. Clarity is the goal. Some of the best English speakers speak slowly and clearly.
Speaking slowly gives your listener time to understand you, and it gives you time to think. There is nothing wrong with pauses. Pauses show confidence, not weakness.
So if you're listening to this podcast and thinking, they speak slowly, that's intentional. Because slow, clear English builds strong foundations.
Let's talk about daily life for a moment.
Yes, because English learning doesn't happen only in classrooms. Students often think they need special time to practice English, but English can be part of normal daily activities.
For example, while walking, you can describe what you see in your mind. Or while preparing for college, you can think about your plan in English.
Simple thoughts like, I have a class today, or I need to finish my work. These small moments add up. They make English feel like a normal part of life.
And when English feels normal, fear reduces naturally.
Alex, there are many myths about learning English, and these myths confuse students. One common myth is that you need perfect grammar to speak English. In reality, communication matters more than correctness.
Another myth is that only confident people can speak English well. But confidence actually comes after practice, not before. Students often wait to feel confident before speaking, but confidence grows by speaking and listening regularly.
Fear is something every learner experiences. Yes, even advanced speakers feel nervous sometimes.
The difference is that they don't let fear stop them. Students often judge themselves too harshly. They compare themselves with others.
But everyone learns at a different pace. Listening helps because it removes pressure to perform. You're learning quietly, without anyone watching you. That's why listening practice is such a safe and effective method.
We used the word confidence several times today. Confidence doesn't mean speaking perfect English. It means being comfortable while speaking. Another word we used is pressure. Pressure is the stress we put on ourselves when we expect perfection. When pressure is removed, learning becomes smoother. Before we end today's episode, remember one thing. If you're listening to English regularly, you are already improving. Progress doesn't always feel fast, but it is happening.
Thank you for spending your time with us. This was Fluent Flow. Keep listening, stay consistent, and trust the process.